Yeah.
I already pressed the button, so you good.
That's always start here.
It do, yeah. It's about a couple more minutes, but it's cool.
Cool, man.
DJ BJ might come on.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yep, one more minute.
Oh, DJ BJ coming today?
No, he usually come on at some days at 6 o'clock. You'll hear like his little advertisement.
I was telling Heather, BJ used to be a car wash face.
Yeah.
That was about.
Ooh, we
5 years
live.
ago.
Sorry, Barbara.
Good evening, everybody. Hello. Hello, Champaign, Urbana. All right, y'all. We in live today in the studio, man. We here today. WRFU 105, 104.5. Conscious Community Connection. We got Heather, you hear me? It's going. Heather not hearing herself. You got me, Heather? Okay, y'all. How y'all doing today, man? Hope everybody enjoying this Easter Resurrection Day. I got a good read. You good?
Yeah.
Looking good? Okay. Say something, Heather. Let's see how you looking.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, she on there.
I'm on there?
Yeah, you on there. You good. All right.
Sometimes these headphones don't work.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they act a little funny, but we got it. Then we got our boy Kiki in the house. He back over there. He just chilling today. He did a lot of work, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive him. Kiki worked like about 5 jobs, man. He need a clone. Somebody need to clone Kiki. That's what we need to do.
Jamaican.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
man.
We ain't finna go there.
That is a hater. I'm a Jamaican.
Oh.
You got to go to your party
Yeah,
tiger?
it's up in there. It's in that pocket.
That is a hater. I'm Jamaican.
Oh my goodness. Hey you guys, how are you doing?
Right, y'all.
This is Conscious Community Connections. I'm just doing a little test so I can hear myself in the microphone as well as on my headphones.
You got it, Heather?
Yeah,
All
I do
right.
believe I'm going.
Okay, Heather going live. I'm gonna read this disclaimer right quick before we get started. We got a special guest with us too, man, and I'm gonna introduce her right after the disclaimer. And I think you guys are really gonna be learn something today. You're gonna enjoy it, and hopefully we can motivate you to become part of something. What you thinking?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
If you can see it.
There she go. There she go. This is WRFU. It's an open forum, Urbana Champaign community. Views expressed are those of the speakers and are not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, or Urbana Socialist Forum. Again, these are our views, not the radio station. So don't beat up on DJ BJ and the rest of the guys. Just leave them alone. I'm in the driver's seat today. Kiki handled it last week. Thank you, Kiki. You did a great job, man.
Thank you.
All right. And I'm going to introduce our special guest we got here today. We got somebody who does a lot in the community, man. I mean, I don't know where to even start. I met her actually going back and forth to court for a family member. And ever since then, we just clicked. And, you know, we just vibe. We always vibe. Then we start having these lunches together and have these discussions, and it just lasts and lasts, and it just became a good friendship. I'm gonna introduce Miss Barbara Kessel.
Hi.
That's right. That Barbara, say hi. Now Barbara does multiple things, but today we're gonna talk about a few of them, which is Court Watch
Court Watch.
and Books to Prisoners.
Books to Prisoners and 3 R's.
3 R's. That's
Stands
right.
for reading reduces recidivism.
Ooh, I like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And that's true too, because you know, I got family members who've been locked up, and once they get out, man, and once they start reading like that, they just not the same dudes anymore. They're not the same guys. It's almost like a whole transformation happened. So yeah, we want to talk about that and the benefits of Court Watch and how that works. But also, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
You doing
Glad
fine?
to be here.
All right, we glad you're here, man.
Did you tell them who you are?
Oh yeah, I didn't tell them who I am. Tiger the Motor.
Get on, Barbara.
There you go. See, I just took it for granted. They always know we here. Like I said, Heather here, Kiki. I introduce everybody else except for
Your
myself.
regular listeners.
Yeah.
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 But maybe somebody.
But
tuned
hey,
in
you
that
can always
doesn't
get
know.
somebody new. And Barbara used to run a radio show. So hey, we we could take a lot of lessons here. Trust me, we still learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me and Kiki be over here punching buttons. We don't know what we doing sometimes.
Some people know who you are too, Barbara. They say, "Hey, Miss Barbara."
Oh yeah.
Oh, who's that? Who's that?
It says Dita on there, but I doubt if that's her real full name.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, they know Barbara, man. Barbara get around. Barbara is a staple here, man, and she's always looking to help somebody. She also got the Men's Movie Critic Night. If you want to talk about that a little bit later, I'm a part of that too. I enjoy that. That's really fun.
Is it? That's my desire.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
telling
fun.
you, man, them guys, and you know, I think I'm not gonna get into all that right now. I'm gonna say that for later, but
Okay.
we're gonna start and I want to get into court watch. I'm gonna let Heather come in there and ask us some questions.
Okay.
I don't know, Heather, or you just want to just right
Just
now
let her
just
introduce herself.
go ahead and introduce yourself.
Tell
more.
them what you do.
Yeah, tell them
Look
more
at
what you do.
Kiki.
Go ahead and lay it out.
Look at
Barbara.
Kiki in the back trying to do it.
We're gonna let Barbara
you know
talk.
how it
Go ahead,
works.
Barbara. I'm stopping.
Okay. Court Watch. Court Watch has been around for, I really don't know how many years, maybe 10.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Long time around here.
Mhm.
And it started out as part of CUCPJ,
Okay.
CU Citizens for Peace and Justice.
Okay.
That was organization started and kept going by Aaron and Carol Ammons before they were in government office.
Okay.
And Court Watch really started with Martell Miller.
Martell Miller.
Martell Miller.
We had him in here.
Wow,
Hey,
man.
Martell.
And he used to come to
That's my boy
CUCPJ
there.
meetings every week and say, so and so has got a case, and we need to go and watch his
Okay.
case. And so people like me who were there at the meeting would show up at the time, whatever it was, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and watch the proceedings.
Okay.
And it also got started when Patrick Thompson,
Well, that name sound familiar.
yeah, he had 3 trials
Mm-hmm.
for the same case, which is really unusual. And by the time he got to the 3rd one, everybody in CUCPJ was there. We had like 27, 28 people there in the court.
Well, that sounds familiar.
And he finally won on his 3rd try. I don't know if he's still around the community. I haven't heard lately.
Right.
But he was here for a while afterwards. Anyway, that's the origins. Court Watch just began spontaneously, really, as a way to support people who had gotten in trouble.
Okay.
Okay. And I learned through CUCPJ how easy it is to get in trouble
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
around here, especially if you're African American.
Hey, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
we know.
so
We know.
I learned,
Yeah.
and I've learned a whole lot about how the court system works
Okay.
from going for all these years. And right now, there's about 6 of us that go, and we get cases
Okay.
by people asking us.
Okay.
They just say, I want you to come.
So they want you to come in and just observe.
Now, right. Now, there's 2 kinds of people that ask us to observe. One is the defendant himself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's usually a him,
Right.
because men are the main subjects of the court system.
Yeah, they
Right.
on the supper table. They serve today. But go ahead.
And so defendants will ask us for court watching, particularly if they're in jail,
Okay.
because when they're in jail, they don't get to go to court
Right.
on all
Right.
their dates.
Okay.
And once in a while, not very often, but once in a while, something interesting happens when they're not there, and we're able to tell them what it was that happened.
Wow. Yeah.
One example, one time, I reported back to the person in jail that the state's attorney had asked for a continuance in order to send his DNA on a gun
Yeah.
back for a second time to the state lab.
Right.
And his lawyer hadn't bothered to tell him because it didn't seem important to him. And I didn't know it was important. I'm just telling him this is what happened. And he said, "Oh, that's wonderful. That means they didn't find the prints they wanted on the first round."
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go for trial instead of a plea.
So you say that guy, that
So he did go for a trial, and he was, because they didn't have any evidence,
right.
he was found innocent.
Wow. Just from you watching that.
Just from being there at the right moment.
Man, we need court watch for everybody now. Everybody on here should be
Court watch. Okay?
No,
Court watch.
No, actually,
Does
was
the paid lawyer do
paid
that?
lawyer, yeah.
Make mistakes like that?
Well, it's a matter of well, actually, the paid lawyers are not as good as the public defenders for visiting their people in jail.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, you wrote an article talking about
She
three
right about
types
that,
of
too.
lawyers. That 3 types of lawyers. When you get a minute, would you mind breaking that down again, man? That was awesome, man. You can break that down. Everybody needs to hear this about these lawyers.
Well, I'm not sure I want to do that because
Okay.
Okay.
You're not sure.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't.
No,
Don't do it.
that's
Don't
fine.
do it. Stay away.
that's
But go
just
ahead.
sort of private
Go
information.
Go ahead.
go
But
read
anyway.
the article.
No, it's in that article.
It's
a
in
good
the article?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
go
an
read the article then.
It's an article.
Yeah.
So we gonna stay away from that. But go ahead.
So
go
right
ahead,
now, we have usually between 9 and 12 different people that we're court watching for.
Okay.
And so every month we're usually there in court for 8 or 9 times because some of them are at the same time. So like next Tuesday, I've got a court date for 5 people in one courtroom at the same time.
Oh.
They're all in jail.
Wow.
But that's easy for me because
Yeah,
it's, you know, you're there for one. Once in a while, a case comes to trial, and then it's quite a strain on us to get people to be there every minute because the trial goes on for anywhere from 2 to 5 days, all day long. But we do try. We try to be there from the picking of the jury clear through to the and in fact your cousin that we met about.
Right. Right.
I was there for that, for his trial.
Right.
And that was, I think,
That was a shame.
that was about 8 years ago.
Yeah, and that was a shame. That was a railroad, man. That was a railroad for real.
That was a terrible
Yes, it
trial.
was. It was awful.
Now the sad thing is we haven't got any real power. You know, we can't, well, I should take that back.
Okay.
Once upon a time, there was a move in the court to get rid of a judge named Klaus.
Okay.
And it came from the district judge in Moultrie County. His name was Judge Flannel. And I found out that Judge Flannel wanted to hear from people who had been sitting in his court.
Okay.
So I organized about 20 people to call up Judge Flannel and talk about Judge Klaus.
Right.
Because we had had a case in front of him.
Okay.
That was real ugly. And it worked. Judge Klaus was dismissed from the bench.
Just from having those 20 people.
Well, no, there were other people.
Yeah,
There were a lot of people that, and in fact, the case that, it was another case that had like hundreds of people really angry
Okay.
about a white woman that he sentenced, a nurse he sentenced to prison.
Okay.
But anyway, we were part of this little thing.
Right.
And we have had occasions to write letters of mitigation to the judge when we know the defendant.
Awesome.
You can't just do that because you met them for 5 minutes. You have to know them.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
in the case of the men's movie group, if I've had somebody and we've got somebody, I think I just
Yeah, I
told you.
got it. I got it.
We've got a couple people that we're going to write letters of mitigation for their sentencing.
So, and how that works? So you said we got to know them. How does that work? What do they determine? What determines that? That no.
Well, when you write the letter, if you're going to be honest, you have to talk about the person's character.
Okay.
And how do you know a person's character if you don't have
Right.
some, back and forth with them?
Right.
And I think in the men's movie group, we do get a chance to know a person if they're there for like 6 months, 7 months.
Right.
Okay.
And you've seen that yourself in
I saw
the
that.
men's movie group.
Yep.
And a letter of mitigation, not everybody knows what that is. It goes to the judge for sentencing.
Okay.
And it's always good, lawyers always tell you, it's really good to have as many letters as possible.
Okay.
10, 20, whatever. Get
Yeah.
your minister to write, teachers you've had, even family members, people who know you
Okay.
Yeah.
and can say something about your character, not about your crime.
Right.
Letters of mitigation have nothing to do with that. You don't even mention it.
Okay.
You don't say, "Oh, he got a raw deal in the trial." No, that's off limits. You're
Okay.
talking about what this person is and how they can be a great member of society if they don't get a long sentence. Is the point.
So what are the components in there? So how many components would you put in there? Maybe 3. So you're talking about personal character. Would you add maybe something that they doing in the community, or what would you suggest? What would make a strong letter of, yeah.
Well, we had one recently. A guy whose name is Toby Morty, who was a student at Parkland College and got in trouble there at
Okay.
Parkland College, and he got lots of letters from teachers there,
Mhm.
and he got letters from Court Watch because his case went on for a year and a half.
Oh,
and,
my.
and he was out. He was not in jail. So every time he had a court date, we met him
Okay.
and talked to him about his case with his lawyer.
Okay.
And so by that time, we had gotten to know him
Mhm.
through
Yeah.
many, many meetings and what he was going through.
Yeah.
And so there were lots and lots of letters of mitigation.
Okay. I don't know. Heather, you got something you want to ask on that?
No, not for the actual letters or anything. I wanted her to keep going with the
Yeah.
court and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The court watch. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about the fact that we've got an article in the paper,
Okay.
Public Eye.
Okay.
Public Eye comes out from the IMC where we are sitting right now.
Mhm.
And
right.
it's a free paper, and you can pick it up at the IMC or at Common Ground or where else. Anybody
right.
know?
That's right.
Do you have them at First Followers?
No, we don't. We don't got
Where
them.
else
There,
I
no.
haven't seen
You
it?
should have them.
They got them. They got them over there in some
Y'all
of
should
the,
bring some down there.
yeah, some of the malls, some of the other places.
You should
No,
take
we
some
don't
down
have
there.
them.
No,
You
we
should
don't
take them
have
down there.
I will. I will.
And Books of Prisoners takes them into the jail on Library Day.
Okay.
There's an article in the latest one, April, called Court Watch Corner. And
Okay.
we're trying to establish a column like every month
Okay.
to talk about a different case.
Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So this
Awesome.
one is, the article is by Isra Rahman, R-A-H-M-A-N.
Israel Rahman. Okay.
And it's called By Reason of Insanity. And it is about a case of a young man
Uh-huh.
who was found unfit to stand trial by reason of insanity.
Okay.
But he'd already had his trial.
They already had a trial.
He had a
What
trial
was his name?
before they called for an evaluation of his fitness.
Okay.
What was his name?
Nah, we can
No, because I think I heard that case.
We,
He got found guilty. I think
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
that's what's his name, cousin.
But
That's what I want to tell you.
how you?
Yep.
Now,
He didn't even attend his own trial.
no, he wasn't at his
He wasn't-
trial
he wasn't at
because
his
he
trial.
was in
Yeah, I know
he
that's-
was in a
yeah.
hospital
That's
at
what's
the
name-
time.
that's
And
what's-
his lawyer,
Yeah.
was a paid lawyer, I
Yeah.
want to point out.
Mhm.
I do want to take issue with the idea that paid lawyers are better than public defenders. This is not. This is a myth.
Myth.
Oh, that's a myth.
That's
is a
a
myth.
myth.
See, y'all heard that
That's
right
a
here, man.
myth.
That's a
Oh
myth.
yeah, it's a
Just
very
because
popular
they're
myth.
paid doesn't mean anything.
And in fact, the lower paid lawyers, which is what people generally go for,
Right, the $2,000 lawyer.
Forget
or
it.
something.
Yeah, they say yeah, quick.
you'll get better from the public defender.
So don't even waste your $2,000.
That's right. Now, if you've got 10 or 15,
Mhm.
go ahead, because the more you pay for a lawyer,
Mhm.
the more the state's attorney likes that, and then you can get a better plea deal. Now, this is somebody's gonna give me hate mail for saying that.
Yeah.
because They don't,
Mm,
they don't think that's true, but I know it's true.
mm,
Hey.
mm.
Oh my.
So,
Wow.
anyway, yeah, he had a paid lawyer who didn't bother to mention to the judge that they put out a warrant for him.
Oh my
And he didn't say
God.
the reason he's not here is he's in Sarah Bush Lincoln Hospital.
Yeah, that is so not right.
But the point is that this case, he got 25 years
Yep.
What?
for armed robbery, which he actually did commit.
Yeah.
But it was his first anything.
Offense.
He didn't
Yeah,
have
never
traffic,
in
he
trouble.
didn't have
Mhm.
juvenile record,
Mhm.
he had nothing. He
Mhm.
was like 19 at the time,
Okay.
and he just graduated from high school, and he was high at the time he committed this crime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe mentally ill, we don't know.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
Because his mental illness became more obvious when he was in jail.
Right.
Right.
He got worse, and they put him in solitary, which is what they do
Yes.
with people when they're mentally ill, which is nice for the other prisoners, but not nice for the person who's
Mm-hmm.
been put in
Right.
solitary.
Right.
Anyway, so he gets 25 years. The day before he got 25 years,
Mhm.
the murderer of his cousin got
Mhm.
25 years for murder.
Yeah.
25 years
Oh.
for murder
Uh-huh.
and 25 years for an armed robbery that didn't hurt anyone.
Okay.
Man.
I
That
got
was
you.
never shot.
And he
never
never been in
fired.
trouble. He never been in trouble.
What?
before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Wow.
And now, the person that we are thinking of writing a mitigation letter for,
Right.
he is likely to get a plea for probation for armed robbery first time.
Okay.
Put that all together. Probation for armed robbery or
Yeah.
25 years for armed robbery.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Man, that's
So-
just locking them up, throwing away the key, man. 25 years and, then you're
And
a
he's
young
still
man.
mentally ill, and of course you
Mhm.
don't get very great treatment in the prison system.
No,
Yeah,
not at
you
all.
know.
Not at all. Yes. Yes.
And this is one of the biggest problems that we have faced as Court Watch is the problem of people who are mentally ill and commit crimes
Mhm.
because they're mentally ill.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
yes.
another case I know of, a really great guy. He was on medication for, I think, bipolar,
Mhm.
something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and he lost his ability to get that medication. I don't know if it was his prescription was cut off or he didn't have the money or whatever, but he was off these medications,
Okay.
and he was getting
Oh, right,
worse.
man.
He was
Mm-hmm.
getting, and he reached out to people around him and said, I'm in trouble.
Yes.
But before it could get fixed, he goes out and does one of these armed robberies where you stick a note in the person's face and say, I have a gun, but you
Okay.
don't really have a gun.
Yes,
Well, guess
yes.
what? In court, you had a gun.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
If you hand somebody a note saying, I have a gun, and you get money,
Yeah.
you had a gun.
Yeah.
You know
That's
that.
like armed robbery,
You know
yeah.
that. All right. So he's in prison right now, this guy. I write letters to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing very well. But I was shocked to discover, because he was in the men's movie group, and I had no idea that he had mental illness until I found out from his girlfriend when he went into prison
Right.
that the mental illness, that being off his medication made him
Yeah.
prone to commit a
Right.
stupid crime.
Right.
Wow, man.
But if you bring it up, my point is, if you bring it up in court that this person is mentally ill, it is worse. That's what happened to the first guy I talked about that we haven't said the name of, who got 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is he was actually mentally ill.
Yeah, I know his family real well. Honestly, I follow that case.
Man.
I actually follow that case. I was getting his cousin advice, and I really think they can do that. Especially when I ain't never heard anybody in life going to trial without not being present. You're supposed to be present when you're on trial.
Wow.
Wow. But then, even with that being said, with the mental illness, if you bring it up, it's worse.
It turns out that's what we learned in watching this case. It made it worse.
But how is it?
Well, here's what happened. The
Uh-huh.
state, and at the end, we discovered the judge agreed with the state. The state said he is playing the system.
Yep.
He isn't mentally ill.
Oh my goodness.
But then they had the psychiatrist from the court
Mm-hmm.
had already said he was unfit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they were about to sentence him, he was incoherent. I mean, you could not carry on a conversation with him. And his lawyer could not talk to him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he came to court, and the judge, I sat there and watched as the judge tried to get a sentence out of him.
Right.
Just just a simple sentence, and he was rambling on about this and that. He heard voices. I mean, he was really out of it.
But I think he got a chance to come out on appeal though. Once a appellate judge, I think appellate court hear that case, they got to bring him back.
I hope so. I really hope so. That he gets to come back on an appeal.
Man.
Because finally, the sentence from the judge was, when he said the sentence of 25 years, he said, now, I believe that he was playing the system. But at some point, he had a psychotic break and threw the tray at the guard, because he had a second case from being in jail and attacking a guard when he was paranoid. He told the guard not to go in his cell, and the guard came in his cell and hit him. So they gave him a second case, $50,000 bond.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and here he is. The jail knows he's mentally ill. They can't not know it because they take care of him and he can't talk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they charge him as if he was not.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff we see all the time in Court Watch, and we want to write about it so people know about it.
Oh my.
This mostly happened, I would say, to, and I'm gonna just take a guess. This is mostly happened to black people, right?
Well, except
because we are in the system. We are the primary source of the system, especially with 70% of arrests consisting of African American in this county. So, I mean, you got it.
Well, I keep an eye out for that all the time because I know that the whole system's shot through with racism from beginning to end.
Right.
Conscious and unconscious, both. But in his case, the companion case I mentioned to you, the guy who's going to get probation, he's the same color.
Okay.
Exactly, same shade.
Okay.
Same record, which is none. But the difference is he's not mentally ill.
So this mental ill thing, this is interesting, man, because now, a lot of people will try to play that card and you be like, don't play that card, man.
Right.
Yeah,
don't. That's exactly right. It's like conceal it. If you had like the guy that I was talking about who pretended to have a gun when he didn't and got sent, he never mentioned the fact that he was off his meds because that would make it worse. It should make it better, but it makes it worse.
Yes. That is so not right.
He was African American also.
Okay.
That's
So
right.
that's look like they wouldn't want them cases because it looked like then you got to take care of somebody that's already mentally ill. But no.
But I don't know because I'm sorry to say, but business wise, maybe that's more money.
No, it costs more money.
It costs money.
That's fine. I understand that.
They get the same. Each inmate $30-some thousand a year. They get the same.
But maybe it's more though, and we don't know.
Yeah,
what's more?
to take care of mental health or something like that.
It's going to cost the state more, but
no, I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like
I'm trying to figure
they get like
out.
$33,000 a year for each person they got in there.
Yeah, they giving them double digits, man. 25 and up. That's a long time to be having somebody locked up.
So maybe that's why. Because the mental health and the mental illness, you can automatically send them for 25 extra years compared to if you don't say it, we're just going to give you the probation.
I'm a rebel, man.
I don't know.
I'm not with none of this stuff. I'm telling you, this is
it's kind of making me angry more than anything.
Of course.
But at the same time, I'm ready to go and do some court watching myself.
Well, and that was one of the questions I had. What are you looking for somebody who wanted to become a court watcher? What's the qualifications?
The time to do it. That's it.
What about writing ability?
Doesn't matter.
It don't?
That doesn't matter at all because not everybody is writing articles and not everybody takes notes.
Okay.
But the important thing, well, there are lots of things going on. Okay. Here's why we court watch. The very first reason for me personally, the first time I ever went by myself was for somebody in the men's movie group, and that was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I just saw that his court date was such and such, and I went. And to my shock, I was the only person there.
Okay.
And he wrote me later from prison and said, I don't know if you meant to come or not, but I'm really glad that I wasn't alone. And I thought, oh, I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
So, and the other day, I was the only person.
The only person there.
For somebody in the men's movie group. I was the only person there.
Wow.
And then that person thanked me afterwards and said, oh, thank you for your support. Because you don't want to be alone in a courtroom.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Secondly, when it comes to trial, or like the case I just talked about of this kid who was mentally ill,
Right.
it's really important that the judge and jury sees a bunch of people sitting there, and we sit together on purpose. We sit together so that we are a visual aid, that this person has people from the community. And this is, sometimes it even happens that it's important that most of us are white. Because we are representing the white community in support of this African American person.
guy. Yeah.
However, it is not a requirement. We have had African Americans who have been court watchers too, like Martel Milton. And but they need to sit with us, not just come, so that we're a block. You know, it's like going to a wedding where the people on one side are for the groom and people on the other side for the bride.
Right.
Yeah. So so there is that. And finally, our purpose is to educate the community about what goes on in court, which is what I'm doing right now, and what this article is about, and why we want to keep up a steady stream of articles just informing people.
And what's the name of that article again? Say it again.
Court Watch Corner, by reason of insanity.
By reason of insanity. You got to get that article. It's in the
April version of the Public Eye.
Yep, April version of the Public Eye. You can get the newspaper. It's on several stands. I know they got it at Parkland. I saw it up there. Seen it around U of I, a couple other places.
Let me see that paper.
So, yeah, we gotta support this, man, because what you're doing is, I mean, and Heather and Kiki, they had a chance to go to a conference, and they was talking about the importance of having a court watch. Heather, tell them about that. Heather could tell you a little bit.
It was for formerly incarcerated family and people or something. I'm sorry, I'm messing it up. But basically they were just talking about how they had bondsmen, they had court watch and stuff like that, and they were saying like how important it is for us to actually see how the judges interact with the people, you know, in the court too. You know, and sometimes I should say that, you know, some of the judges kind of disrespect or aren't so thrilled about the court watchers or the people that actually attend. You know, so it's good to see that interaction of what's going on inside the actual court, how the judge treat the people, you know, publicly, you know, just coming in there and actually viewing, and how things are working out. So,
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say that we get court watch cases in other ways. The way we got the case about the young man who was mentally ill wasn't him, wasn't in jail. It was his uncle, whom you probably know. His uncle called us up at court watch number, which I'm going to give out now. Get your pencil and paper.
Okay, before you get that, hold on. She's going to get at it. I'm going to read this disclaimer right quick again. This is 104.5. Okay, I'm going to read this. This is 104.5 FM, WRFU, and it's an open forum for Urbana-Champaign community. Views expressed are those of the speakers and are not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, or Urbana Socialist Forum. I'm Tiger. I go by Tiger the Motivator now, y'all. I like that.
Oh,
I got Heather up in there. Yep, I got Heather J in the house, HJ. We got Miss Barbara Kessel in here really giving us the lowdown of this court watch and this other thing, which is very interesting. And all of the court stuff that we go through in our community, we need to really just have like an ear and just listen to Barbara just talk all day, man, and really go over these things. And we got Kiki in the house back here. He's playing back. What's that? What they call that? Backseat driver.
Quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback. Yeah. So we in here today, but Barbara's about to give out her information, and I would suggest, man, hey, take a pen. Now this is being recorded, so it will be. They could go online and pull this down, but I'm gonna let Barbara take back over. Go ahead, Barbara, where you was off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to give a phone number that you could call if you wanted to either be in court watch.
Okay.
And as I said, we just need people with daytime time.
Okay.
Because
that leaves this dude out.
Well, it leaves out everybody that
I ain't
works.
going no courtroom. I ain't gonna lie.
And everybody that works can't come.
Okay.
So it's older people who are retired or students. And so the number is 708
708
831
831
0568.
0568. Say it again, Barbara.
708 831 0568. Now, the other reason people call us is because they have a defendant. They have a relative, often a son or a grandson or a boyfriend, and they want us to court watch for their loved one. And we do that because that way we can report back to them directly.
Okay.
And oftentimes they can't come because they work or they're disabled. They're old, too old to come to court.
Yeah.
And they want somebody to tell them what happened because the lawyers don't usually stay in close touch.
Okay.
So, so we get a lot of cases from, and we also get cases occasionally from a lawyer.
Oh, wow.
We have a couple of lawyers who are
Okay.
friendly to us,
Okay.
and we've got a case right now that the lawyer asked us. It's a sex molestation case.
Okay.
Well, those people really need support.
Man, they sure do.
And
man.
so
Yeah.
we got that case from the lawyer, and we will be watching this month.
Okay.
So we'll be going for
Okay.
him.
Man, that's some heavy stuff. What you think, Kiki?
You know what?
Because you went down to that conference with Heather and them. They was
Yeah.
talking about this.
Oh, it's vital. It's vital for the community to get involved. If the community complaining about something, it's vital for them to get involved and learn about what's going on.
Well, I mean, man, the judges are the ones that's tossing out this
I know, that's what I'm
time like
saying.
it's candy, man.
But the community could need to go and see what them judges actually saying, so they get
how
the
they
feeling.
interact.
Yeah, how they treat them. Because just because somebody committed a crime, don't mean they're criminal. A lot of people don't understand that saying.
You sound like Mobb Deep on that song. Ain't no such thing as a halfway crook.
No, yeah, but you got sometimes people way of thinking at a certain time where they do things.
Okay.
You know, you do got career criminals, people that you got a lot of people that just because they commit a crime make them a criminal. Like take the young man we talking about. I almost said his name, but just take the young man we were talking earlier.
Right.
You know, he was young, first out of school. You know, he was more like a follower. He was slow.
Okay.
And then that's the sad thing about our community. I was just talking to my nephew. It's sad. I was just talking to my nephew the other day. We were talking about this. I was just talking to my nephew about a lot of us have mental issues. We don't even know it.
Right. I agree, man.
You have stuff going on in your head, and
That's
told
true.
Yeah, and I told my nephew. I said, "Can we talk about somebody in our family?" Cause he going through something. I'm like, man, something wrong with such and such, man.
Yeah.
I realized that by me working with these people, working with this young man at first follow and stuff like that, and you just get to seeing certain signs.
Right.
I'm like, man, something wrong with my nephew. You know what I mean?
The decision making is off. You
Yeah,
can tell,
and we don't.
The critical thinking is.
And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think because you functional, that you can be schizophrenic, bipolar, all type of stuff be functional. A lot of people don't understand that, and it's a lot of mental illness going on in the community, man. People don't even know it's happening. That's true. I'm starting to be more aware of it and seeing it. So like a lot of people have outcry. You see a lot of people outcry about stuff, but don't get involved. So yeah, I think that court watch is a wonderful thing. Like they said, like that was the main thing in Florida. We was in Florida. You got to get involved somehow, man. If you donate some money or something, but main time, donate your time. You want to talk about something, help a cause.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to figure out to have time to let somebody be there. But yeah, I agree with you.
And money we don't need.
Yeah.
Just time.
Just time.
Yeah.
So anybody out there got time and you sitting there and you on daytime. You gotta
Daytime
be
time.
daytime. So get in touch with Barbara and see about becoming part of this. We're gonna have to. We can't keep complaining. You're gonna have to get out there and get active with it, man. Only way you get active with it is like Martell Miller, just like you said, just started, man. I gotta mention that guy's name again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful guy.
Yep, that's my buddy there, man. He
really has a heart for the community.
Yes, he does. So you gotta. And he's one of them guys. He don't just talk about it. He get out there and make it happen.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you gotta become like that guy. But that's awesome. Man. That's awesome. I don't know where you want to go with it, Heather. Where you want to go with it, Heather? Because she do a lot, man.
No, that's perfect. You know, just
She's
telling
saying what
us
she's
about the
talking
court
about,
watch. She said she needed to touch on some more stuff too, because she has.
You know
a
what?
lot
We
to
didn't touch on. Would it be okay if we go like, what's your? Is it okay if we go somewhere on your background, like what you used to do, to kind of like what was the
What led to
transition?
this moment?
Yeah, what was the transition? What was, or I don't know. If you don't want to, don't. But we could just stay there.
I've actually been political my whole life,
Okay.
starting with the Vietnam War. I
Okay.
was a protester.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I taught community college in Chicago for 29 years,
What part of Chicago?
all over. I was in
cool.
citywide college, and I traveled to different locations on
Yeah.
the south side.
I went
west
to
side,
Olive
and north
Harvey.
side.
I went to Olive Harvey for 1 year.
Oh yeah, I know Olive Harvey.
Yeah,
I never
103rd.
taught at Olive Harvey, but I taught at a high school near there.
Okay.
Because citywide college taught high school classes,
Right.
college classes to high school, and then I taught at Malcolm X college,
West Side.
and I taught at Truman. I ended up at Truman, which is in Uptown
Yeah, that's
by the
uptown.
lake.
Yep.
Fascinating community. It's got every possible thing in it.
You sure
And
do.
so Truman College was a whole lot of fun because they had immigrants, lots and lots of immigrants.
Yeah.
We had like 110 different nationalities
Yeah.
coming in,
Yeah.
and we had ESL classes for them. And then when they got through with that, they would take regular classes.
Okay.
So I taught speech,
Mhm.
and I would
Awesome.
have a class that would be half people from all over the world,
Okay.
and the other half would be people from the West Side, from Uptown,
Yeah.
Hispanics, stockbrokers.
Yeah.
Because I taught classes at night on weekends, and so those people live in Uptown too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was just wonderful, wonderful mix.
Yeah.
I never saw anything as diverse as the classes at Truman. I taught there for 10 years, and that was so much fun. I was surprised they paid me.
Right. I love Uptown too, up there by Truman, man. I used to work up there, so I know about that too. I like that whole area, like you said. They got a big, Belizean, everything is up there, man. They got a big Belizean population up there, and who else? It's a lot. Cubans.
Yeah, everything.
Everything, man. I love the place up there. I used to go to them little clubs up there and do the reggae night and be up there doing that slow wine and all that stuff. Heather don't know about that, but go ahead, bro. Heather don't know about slow wine.
Don't let Heather fool you.
Mm-hmm.
I was teaching at Malcolm X when Fred Hampton was killed,
Oh wow!
and he was killed about 3 blocks away from Malcolm X College. Well, it was at Crane at the time.
Who got you?
Before the
Fred
building was
Hampton.
built.
Oh.
The Panther.
I'm very ancient. So this was Crane High School. That's where they had they called it Crane Community College before it was renamed. While I was still there,
Okay.
Malcolm X College was renamed, and then it got a new building,
Okay.
which is right on the expressway. But Crane High School was really right around the corner from the house where Fred Hampton was killed.
And that was an execution, man.
And Fred Hampton came. I saw him speak personally several times. He came into the school
Wow.
and spoke.
You saw Fred Hampton personally?
I did, and I remember
man.
very, very vividly the day that the day after Martin Luther King was shot, we called off classes. I was teaching there, and they had the whole day we spent in the auditorium listening to people speak. This is after Martin Luther King was shot. And one of the speakers was really exciting. And I turned to my colleague, Elliot Evans, and I said, "Who is that?" And he said, "That guy's named Fred Hampton. He's a young Malcolm. He's only 16.
This dude was 16 speaking like
16
that.
speaking like that.
Man. You read his book?
He was killed. He was still a
I know his
teenager.
son.
He was 21. He got killed.
Yeah.
21?
Yeah.
Man, this dude, wow, man.
He was a young Malcolm.
Man.
And he was tough, man. He was great for his time.
So that was a big, it was a big event in my life.
Yes.
That's a big event in the
Because it was
nation.
very clear, like you said, Tiger, that it was an execution.
That was
The
a-
stage
Yeah, they knew
event.
it. They knew they had to kill him because he. They knew they had to kill him because he was getting
Get off
everybody
your
together.
phone.
No, these people. It's from.
Oh, yeah.
No, it ain't.
He
Yeah,
answered.
I ain't lying.
He answered.
No, I ain't lying. No, that's pushing. I mean, talk about that car. I ain't gotta lie to you. Cause she just look. I should
Get off your phone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But you
Get off your
know,
phone.
Man.
I
But
talked to his son.
But yeah, he was man. He was tough. They killed. They knew they had to kill. He bring all ethnicities together, not just the community, but he bring everybody together.
Yeah, the Rainbow Coalition.
When you that powerful and that young, and he was young doing it.
Yeah.
man, 16.
Man, read his
he blew
book,
you
man.
away.
Yeah.
He was a high school student in Maywood, in Western Suburbs, at the time.
Wow.
Man,
So-
he made all that happen. He made all that happen when he was 18 years old, man.
Wait, this is interesting, man. So what type of speaker was he? Like, what?
You
like,
never heard of his
He
speeches?
was very much like Malcolm, and I found out later after he died that he
Mhm.
listened. I had a record one time, Malcolm X Speaks, on old vinyl. You know, I mean, you could listen to his speeches.
Okay.
This is way before cell phones and internet
Yeah.
and all that.
Right,
you know.
right.
But anyway, he would listen to his speeches. They were also in print. I had a book called Malcolm X Speaks,
Okay.
which was just his speeches.
Mm.
And he studied his style, and he had his style.
Check that out, man. You see that?
Yeah,
Man.
He had that spirit in him, man.
Wow. So he studied the pattern. Then he mimicked that pattern, and then he used that same format.
And it was working. Why they knew they had to kill him?
Barbara, you
So-
yeah, go ahead, man. Keep going, keep going. This is awesome, man. That's and because they found out later that they had drugged the Kool-Aid because they used to drink that red Kool-Aid, and a lot of them would sleep.
Oh yeah, he was drugged when he was.
Yeah, they was
Yeah, when
drugged.
they
So
came
and all of
they would have killed him anyway, whether he was drugged or not.
Right.
They,
Right.
It was quite a setup.
Yeah.
that's scary, man. It's scary to see.
Well, it was scary, and at the time,
Mhm.
you know, it was quite a shock to everybody that was active in all the things that were going on at the time, which was a
Yeah.
whole lot of stuff. You know, the
Mm.
Vietnam War gave rise to more radical civil rights things.
Okay.
You know, we went from well, and Malcolm got killed, and then Martin got killed, and then Bobby Kennedy got killed, and then Fred Hampton got killed, and it was like obvious that
Somebody wiping the slate. That's called wiping
Yeah.
the board.
Yeah.
Let's set the board. That's what that was. That was. Let's just set the board.
and it worked.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Fred had a saying: "You can jail a revolutionary, but you can never jail a revolution." But it wasn't correct.
Say that again. Say it again.
He said, this was his original quote: "You can jail a revolutionary,
Right.
but you can't jail a revolution."
Oh man, that's
Meaning
my,
you can
that's deep.
wipe out the leaders, but
Yep.
you still got the movement. But in fact, that's not true. You wipe out the leaders, you really do affect
You
them.
scare people.
Yep.
Like Jesse was tough to Martin got killed. Jesse, man, read over
Jesse
Jesse Jackson. Yeah.
Wow.
He used to be on the front line. Jesse soft as all I do when they killed Martin. Martin.
Wow, man.
Jesse
Yeah.
was tough. Read over about old Jesse back in the day.
Wow. Well, somebody decided to wipe the slate clean, and that sound like some I don't know.
Yeah, they
I don't know
scary,
how
though.
much
Like, we don't want that
conspiracy
cause.
theory as you are,
Well-
but hey, that's some power, man. That's some power. Somebody put some serious buttons, but I'm not gonna touch on that because that right there.
There was a trial. I can't remember who it was a trial of. Oh yeah, it was the Bobby Seale. Remember him?
Yeah.
Bobby Seale and Abby Hoffman and all those people. There were like 7 of them. They had a trial in Chicago.
Right.
I didn't go to the court, but I was around at the time.
Okay.
And in that trial, through discovery, they had the material out there that the CIA had actually written that they must stop the rise of a new black messiah. That's the word they used, black messiah. And that was about Fred Hampton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To stop the rise of a black messiah, the CIA.
Right.
So that was public record. That's no conspiracy theory.
Right. That's COINTELPRO. That
COINTELPRO. That's right.
That's right. I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking too. That was somebody else.
So all this is very old.
Yeah, that's history.
But it seems like sometimes it's repeating itself.
That is true.
And I tell you
Don't
what,
learn from history.
I tell you what. See, COINTELPRO, that whole program that was ran by J. Edgar Hoover at the time, it never stopped. They were studying so much language, music, listen to everything. Don't think that just stopped.
It's still going on now.
Exactly.
Look what they did to Black Lives Matter. They put Black Lives Matter on the terrorist watch.
Hey, man. Hey, don't think it stopped.
It's going on. It ain't never stopped. But
right.
Cause anytime you can put Black Lives Matter on the terrorist watch and just try to, don't even think about the Ku Klux Klan, all these white supremacy group, but you got these on top of the terrorist watch list of domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
Think about that. These people ain't gonna promote violence.
No. Hey, whatchamacallit? Moorish Americans on that list too, man.
Yeah, we've been on that list.
Yeah, so yeah, man. But wow, Byron, you giving some heavy history there.
Yes.
You asked.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I wasn't planning on it.
Yes, I want her to get back to it.
But it's good. Go ahead.
It
It's
is
good.
good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it is
It's
good.
heavy, man.
What else did you say you wanted to talk about today?
I did want to talk about Books to Prisoners in 3 R's.
Okay.
And they are definitely not a revolutionary group.
No,
they are a service group, and they do wonderful work. And they were my beginning when I moved down here from Chicago 14 years ago, and I was retired. I just retired from teaching in Chicago, and I wanted something to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what. And I went one day to a sort of a fair over at Granite where they talked about all these different organizations there were in town. And Sandra Otten, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of her. She was the founder of Books to Prisoners. Sandra Otten. She's still around.
Okay.
She's still doing great stuff.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yes, thank you.
And so she talked about this brand new group that was starting up with a bunch of letters from prison. People in Illinois prisons were writing letters. They didn't know to who, asking for books.
Okay.
And so I said, well, I'm an old English teacher. Books are exciting to me. And people in prison, they got nothing else to do than read books. And, and that seems like a really good thing to be able to give them a book that they want to read.
Yeah.
Right.
Little did I know at the time that I started that in just 2 years before I came down here, the Illinois Department of Corrections, actually it's the state legislature, they cut the budget. They just cut out all the budget for libraries. Zero. 2002.
Wow.
And ever since then, they have librarians, but they don't have books.
Right.
Yeah, I was never happened.
So all the books they have, we just discovered this in around, I think it was about 2008. A wonderful woman named Sarah Ross. Sarah Ross had the idea that we should call all the librarians. We're sending books to prisoners who write us.
Right.
And she had the idea that we should call the librarians and find out what was the state of their libraries and what books they needed. And so she and I and a woman named Judith, oh dear, I can't remember her last name. The 3 of us, we divided up all the prisons. There's 26 in Illinois, and we called each one and discovered right away that a third of them had no librarian at all. Library closed.
Okay.
And now, today, suddenly in the last year, they have hired more librarians.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna narrow the number of libraries that are closed, and that's because of what you, Tiger, and I did when we went to the News and Brews.
Yeah, tell them about that. That was fun. I enjoyed
That was so much fun. There were 200 people that showed up at News and Brews at Riggs Brewery.
Right.
That's sponsored by WILL.
That's right.
And we talked about this, the fact that they didn't have any books.
Right.
And that Books to Prisoners and 3Rs was making up the difference. We're supplying virtually all of the books
Right.
to what is now about 44,000 prisoners
Wow.
in Illinois.
Great. So wonderful.
Now,
that's
why
wonderful.
this is important. This is why this is important, because I was there at the presentation and I spoke with Bart. I was on the panel with them. It's important because, one, a lot of times, and Kiki could testify to this, you got to do your own research. If you don't have these books available, you can't do research or find out things. Is nobody gonna help you. So you need a librarian. See, this is why this is important to have these things there. It was, reading when I got locked up, reading helped me kind of escape that. You know, because you got the guys watching TV, but it don't help you. TV will bring you into the mix of the madness that's going on there.
Oh yeah.
You see, each group is controlling the TV at a certain time. Just like sometimes it'd be I ain't gonna say no name, but it'd be the other group, the Reds controlling that, but you trying to watch a show. But you see the book, y'all can have it, man. Y'all can have it. I take the book and go back and sit on the bunk. You know, I'm like, man, y'all can have the TV. I don't want the TV. So I'm not caught up in that madness.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it allowed me to learn things to help and get myself out of this thing. Because now you're going to have to work and get yourself out of this. Nobody else is going to come save you. There's no savior going to come out the sky. I know this is Easter weekend, but guess what? There's no JC coming out the clouds to save you. You're on your own. So this is why having these books are so important.
And the books that you want.
The books that you want. That's right.
So people who write to Books to Prisoners, they ask for specific books that they want.
Okay.
Now, we get lots and lots and lots of books because we live in the University of Illinois community. So we are a book-rich community. But only a small portion of the books that people donate to us are books that the prisoners want to read.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we've learned to use that gap to take everything. Books that prisoners don't want, how to set up a landscape garden in your backyard.
Yeah.
Books, just to represent one. We put them in the book sale. We have a book sale twice a year.
Okay.
And that book sale, the last one, I think we raised about $4,000.
Yeah, I was here at that one. They had it here.
We need that money and more in order to pay the postage.
Right.
So we spend $500 a month on postage.
Wow.
Sending the books to individual prisoners. Although we do use bulk mail.
Okay.
But bulk mail may have several different prisoner orders, but it goes to that person.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that it isn't lost in the library or in the shuffle. It goes to that person.
So can somebody donate? Like, let's say if everybody just donated $1, man, $1 a month. You know how many people we got in Champaign, and if everybody just did $1 a month.
Well, money is good, and we need it, but we're not starving because we raise that money in different ways. But the book sales are the big one. But what we need more is we can always use volunteers, and we have student volunteers to select the books off the shelves and pack them and give them, and there's a lot of work involved.
Got it.
So it's great to have volunteers. We'd love to have people who are formerly incarcerated come and help us send books to prisoners because they know, what they're doing.
Yeah.
But what we really need is a bunch of books that only African Americans have. And
That's
they're
true.
called urban fiction.
Yep. Yep.
Nobody from the university ever donates urban fiction.
Yes.
And that's what many prisoners want to read.
Like what would be considered urban fiction?
Oh, Sister Soldier.
Oh, they want Sister Soldier? No, I can't donate my Sister Soldier.
Oh, see there.
See, that's why.
Yeah, I gotta keep that one. What else?
Yes,
They ain't something
yes.
else, man. Give me, I don't know. I can't.
You got some good
Donald
now.
Goines.
You got Donald
Yes,
Goines.
Donald
know, all that.
Goines.
No,
love
I
him.
can't donate that
Look,
either,
I
man.
can't either.
Well,
Yeah,
see, we
Bruce-
don't
yeah,
ever
Bruce
get that
Brown.
donated.
Yes,
so
right.
What's
Right.
the
people are not happy. They
You got
don't
Eric
get
Jerome
what they
Dickey.
want.
No, I can't donate that either, man.
Eric Jerome Dickey. You got
Dutch?
what's his name?
Toni Morrison?
Terry
No,
Woods.
Toni Morrison, not urban fiction.
No.
She's a black author, but she's not
Toni
urban
Morrison
fiction.
has
Okay,
good books.
okay.
Bees of Honey. I like her. Then you got well, I used to read a lot of crime books. So
Now, we have a lot of call for James Patterson and
Yeah,
Paul
I-
Gacci and
Vince Flynn.
Patricia Cornwell.
What's the name? What's the name? Sarah Scott. What's her name? She wrote this.
Is it Wahida Clark? Wahida Clark?
What's his name? Wrote the Jack Rucci books. What's his name?
There's a one lady that I think her name is Wahida Clark.
Sounds right.
A lot of good hood novels out there. You got Terry Woods.
Zane?
Zane.
Oh, you can't get those. Sorry, I got some of those. I'm sorry, I'm not getting those.
You gotta donate
Well,
that.
wait a minute.
They need that.
Oh my
You
God.
sit and read that book over and over again? Or you just keep
Yes.
it- you do?
Well, I got it. I can read
You
it
just
over.
like looking at it on the shelf because you read it and loved it.
Well, I got a lot
She
of.
might take it something.
I have a lot of romantic, exotic books. I love them.
She might be using that.
I do. I love them. I do. I was in a book club.
She
I
might be.
might.
If you already read it once, you need to get that book
I
up,
might
man.
give some up.
Zane got
Yeah.
Zane got a masquerade thing she doing in DC once a year now.
I might give some up.
You
Well,
hoarding.
just think about it.
You hoarding. You
I'm
hoarding
gonna
stuff.
give some up.
You hoarding
I
stuff. man.
I
You
get
need
some
that.
more art.
I moved into my new house. I
Cause
don't have it to where
And for
I
people
can put it up,
who
but-
don't have these in their collection, they can actually buy these books on Amazon
And some of them are
and
like
give them
$1.
to
Okay.
us.
Okay,
some
we
of
can
them
do
are
that.
like
can
And
do
$2.
so, Books to Prisoners has, I think they have a website.
James, but they're not urban fiction though.
Okay, we
James
can do
Baldwin.
that. We
They
can
ain't
do that.
gonna want no James Baldwin book.
No, he's not real popular. He's a great
Rob
author.
Ellison, they don't want none of those. Langston Hughes.
No.
Okay, I want to give a couple
W.E. Du
websites
Bois.
Okay.
for people that are interested in books.
Okay.
Books to Prisoners website, which is a really, really good website.
Okay.
A lot of information off of it. How to donate and so forth. Books and the digit 2 prisoners.org.
So that's books, the number 2,
prisoners.org.
2 prisoners.org. Okay, got it.
And the Reading Reduces Recidivism website, which tells you it has lists of books on it to give for libraries.
Okay.
It's 3rsproject.org, and it's the digit 3
Digit 3. Okay.
RSPROJECT project.org.
Okay.
So it's 3rsproject.org.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a lot of good books in here, but they might not want like these. They cheap.
Yeah, they are cheap. Someone on the feed said you can use Amazon for the books, and it's $9.99 a month, and it's unlimited free shipping. So
Mary Monroe.
$10 a month for those books could
What do
be
you
pretty
mean?
cool. I think
Yeah, what do they mean?
you can get probably unlimited books on Amazon.
Unlimited? I don't think so.
I
No,
don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know what she was saying.
Tell her.
I was just
ask her to
reading-
be more specific.
Be more Pacific, Carmen, please.
Yeah, and then
Tell her to call you and give them.
yeah, give us some more details with this. She might know something that we don't know with this. I'm curious, but we could do that, and I guess we could start a drive with those type of books. And like you said, they got that list. They got the list.
At some point in time,
Mhm.
I seen it to where certain people were asking for certain books. So maybe, like you said, we need certain authors
Mhm.
and just request
Well,
them.
here's the thing. All three of you, as soon as I mentioned an author, You all started talking about different authors. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
urban
exactly.
fiction.
Right.
Yes.
So you don't need a list of authors and a list of
Okay.
books.
Right.
That's all we need, urban fiction.
Okay.
We
Okay.
Just,
Well, I ain't got none. I got all.
I got some. I'm done
I
there.
got all political correct books. I've been putting urban fiction books down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even read them.
Yep,
Right.
I got them.
I read Eric Jerome Dickey because it's like erotic. I read urban erotic books like stuff like that, but I don't read none of that
Okay.
gang banging and all that.
well, that brings me to an interesting idea. Way back in Books to Prisoners, we used to argue about whether we should provide urban fiction because a lot of it's dirty. And we never got it donated. That was the thing. We never got it donated. So we'd have to spend money to buy it. Nobody wanted to spend money
Right.
because we don't buy books.
Mhm.
But it was especially about the jail because the jail, they ask for books that we don't have.
Right.
We have a little library in both of the jails,
Mm-hmm.
both the main jail and the satellite jail. Thank you, Sheriff. We've had it for many, many years, and it's really good. Most county jails do not have a library.
But
even Cook County does not have a library in their jail, county jail.
Only good thing about urban fiction though, I can't say it don't be no happy ending. So a person reading it try to get understanding. It ain't no happy ending to many urban fiction.
No.
The good guys don't, the bad guys don't always. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it is some help to it, but
It's realistic.
Yeah,
It's
but-
realistic.
Yeah, and some people like probably live that life.
Mhm.
So they can identify.
Yeah,
with it.
identify.
That's
Yes.
why. That's really why a lot
Yeah.
of those books. Because
And
you
the
can
point
identify
is,
with the characters.
the point I wanted to make as an old reading teacher,
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing is that people read.
Yes.
Right.
And they will
Right.
read what they want to read.
Yes.
They're not going to
Right.
sit there and read a book just because it's good for them.
Right.
Like
When they
James
have-
Baldwin.
So whatever is they want to
Wanna
read,
read, yeah.
they may read tons of it and then graduate to
Mhm.
better reading.
Yes.
That's what
yes.
I did. Because
Yes.
the first book I ever read was Donna Gorin, Horror Son.
Uh-huh.
First book I ever read, Donna Gorin, Horror Son. Now, the second book I read was Sister Soldier, No Disrespect.
Well,
Oh
there you
yeah,
go.
Sister Soul.
Then I read, after I read No Disrespect, and I read Coldest One Ever.
Yeah, everybody like the
Uh-huh.
coldest one.
Then I
ever.
read
The
God-
Midnight.
Yeah, then I read God Don't Like Ugly.
Yeah.
And see,
Like
you're
Mary
telling
Monroe.
me that you graduated. You don't
Yeah.
read those books
Yeah,
anymore.
I
But it was
book,
important
yeah,
to
it-
read
it
them
book-
when you
Mhm.
needed to read.
Yeah,
Yep.
when we first started, because when I first got locked out, I just had to, I wanted to calm my thinking down.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know your mind be all over, you think about this
Right.
and that,
Mhm.
and so you just want to calm. So first book, the guy on the man read this. I read that. I read a couple more.
So let me ask you a question. After you read that book, did you get that feeling of completion or something? You know how some people get when they graduate, almost like I actually read a book.
Yeah, I was happy as hell.
Mhm.
I was like, man, I can't believe I read this whole book.
And,
So-
And I read it
some
one day.
men, some men can't
Donna Gorin
read
book,
too.
Don't
You get what I'm saying? Some of the men can't actually read.
And then you got to
Like
sneak and read Donna
you know?
Gorin book by you being like
Yeah,
that.
you're right.
Yeah.
And by me being on the title
need a real
of
simple
GD, you know,
book.
want a lot of reading books.
Right. So the idea is he got that. You know, you get this feeling of completion when you finish a
Yeah.
degree or something like that, or you
Yeah,
do
man,
something.
it's like a hell of
you
a
accomplish.
feeling.
So it's dealing with the same thing. So that makes sense to have those books.
Yeah,
And also,
to get you started.
when you read a
graduate.
book that you really like, whatever in the heck it is,
Mm-hmm.
you're having a relationship with that book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's you and the book. Like you said,
Mhm.
forget the TV, go back to your bunk and read a book.
There you go.
That's just you, and then the book is talking to you. It's
Yep.
like the next best thing to a person.
Mhm.
Well, you seeing the characters in your head.
Yes.
You living through the characters,
Mhm.
whereas TV, you looking at the characters, but now your imagination is doing this.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
But it's time to read the disclaimer again. Kiki just reminded me. This is WRFU 104.5. It's an open forum, the Urbana-Champaign community. Views expressed are those of the speakers and not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, or Urbana Socialist Forum. Again, I'm Tiger, the motivator. I like that.
And I'm Barbara
Heather
Kessel.
Javon.
And that's
Yes.
Barbara Kessel, the
Yes.
guest. That's Heather
Yes.
J,
Yes.
the MC, and that's Kiki.
The plain Kiki.
Oh my.
That's Kiki the Extraordinaire. We're gonna call him Kiki the Extraordinaire from now on, man. That's his new title.
Yes.
That dude, he do a lot, man. He he's a good dude. He's a mentor, worker. He don't even have the time, but he still find the time to come down there and talk to the young guys. He just an all around good guy. But we got our special guest on here today, Barbara Kessel, from Books to Prisoner, Court Watch, Men's Movie, the 3 R's, Men's Movie Night, just all around. And she gave us some wonderful history, man. I mean, y'all gonna have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, she broke stuff down.
Yeah, man, but all the stuff with
Fred Hampton
and stuff, yeah, man, that's heavy. That was heavy, bro. That's some real stuff. But and we covering some things here, but right now we talking about why is it good to read, and you need to read now. Like, I know a lot of people. I know some people. I don't want to say no names. But they like to sit there in front of the TV all day. And I'm not a TV watcher. Like, every now and then I come in and watch maybe 1 or 2 movies. And I really just started watching movies now since Barbara got me in the Men's Movie Critic thing. Like, I never really sat down and watched that movie fresh.
You didn't watch Little Boy Fresh?
Man, I never sat down.
The chess movie?
I never sat down and actually watched that movie. Then I said, okay, I get it. But we're going to talk on that too. But she on the 3 R's right now.
I ain't seen that.
It is a good movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's heavy. But we're gonna finish up with this. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the 3 R's. Then we could talk on the Men's Movie Critic Night. But I never actually sat down and watched anything. I think I got ADD, man. So I don't know.
Well, yeah. I understand.
Yep.
I do too.
Hey.
There's another group I want to mention.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
Ripple Effect.
Oh yeah,
Ripple Effect. Yeah.
Ripple Effect out there.
I was there at the beginning of that one too.
Oh, awesome.
She just signed on.
Who's that? Annette?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
She just signed on.
Annette's a marvelous person.
Yeah, she just sent me something too.
And she's keeping Ripple Effect going
Yes.
strong. I was there, I think it was last week. Not this one, but the week before. And it's every 3rd Thursday of the month at Baptist Church.
Right.
And we wrote, there must have been a dozen people at least there, maybe more.
Okay.
We wrote 147 cards
Woo!
to send out. And we have a list of prisoners, mostly from Illinois.
Okay.
And I feed the list with people who have left the Men's Movie Group or the jail that I know of, or Court Watch, and are going to prison.
Okay.
Because we write cards and letters to people in prison. And it's not a pen pal group.
Right.
Although people tend to write back to us because they've got a return address and they'll write to Ripple Effect.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, we get beautiful letters back. People, it's just amazing to me how people can be so happy to get some mail from somebody they don't even know.
Sure, the mail call. People want to name that mail call.
And there's Joby James was around the Ripple Effect for a while, and he had just gotten out of prison a couple years ago.
Okay.
And he said when he was in Danville, he gave his roommate's name and number to Ripple Effect because his cellmate never got any mail. So he was jealous. He kept getting these cards from Ripple Effect. And so we added him to the list. And so the thing is, if you have somebody that you know who's in an Illinois prison, or even not in Illinois, but they're from here, get their name and prison number to Annette Taylor.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll add them to the list.
Yep.
We will do
She
that.
does that at Touching and Changing Lives Ministries. Okay, and everything is on the actual her website, Ripple Effects, and or Annette Michelle. So yeah.
Yeah, she awesome, man.
That's great.
Okay.
Yep.
That'll work. She's on there.
Yes, she just.
Okay, we gotta get on here
great,
too.
Great. Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Was there something else you wanted to talk to us about?
No, I think I got it.
That was everything.
No, we want to talk about the Men's Movie Night too. We got to put that in
Men's
there. You
Movie
got a
Night?
couple of minutes to just expound on that a little bit because I just joined them and I'm It's awesome, man. I mean, you know, you got 12, how many, 12, 15?
12 guys.
Yeah, 12 guys.
There is a women's group, too.
Oh,
a women's movie group. It's much smaller because there are less women.
Yeah.
But, you know, it ranges from 8 down to 2 people. But it's every other, you know, we meet every other Monday, and every other Monday it's the women's movie group, which is run by different people.
Okay. That's run by somebody else.
But I got it started.
Okay.
Because
All right,
the women,
Barbara.
you know, we want to have it for everybody.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Great. Yes.
And it's an escape, just like the books.
Okay.
It's a free space.
Yeah.
In a way, to give your thoughts, your reactions to the movie.
Right.
And nobody can tell you you're wrong.
But man, you could hear a pin drop up in there. They be analyzing everything, man. They be looking at the motives and the characters' actions and why they act, man. They really get into the movie. You could tell them they be studying it like this. And I think a lot of them was like me. You know, you'd be, when you out in the street, especially when I used to be out in the street, I just come in and go back out. But when you kind of forced to sit there, you really look at it. Now we can take that movie fresh and really break it down to all the components. But each one of them guys in that movie was a chess piece. And like you said, the movie was really building on each other. But them guys in that group, they was breaking it down, man. One guy even broke down talking about, what did he say, Barbara? He talked about it's impossible to get from one side of New York to the other within a certain amount of time. I said, man, this is getting too analytical now. You're going way too much of a
I know
left
who
break.
you're talking about.
Yeah, he talking about, nah, you couldn't get there. It was in the evening when they got there. It'd take at least 2 hours to get on this side of town. Like, whoa, man, this is too deep. Now, slow down. But that's just show you how much of a escapism and how much thought they were putting into this thing. And everybody wanted to contribute something. So it was doing self-analysis.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, they was analyzing, they was reflecting
lives.
themselves, especially with the little guy, Chucky, that was Fresh Buddy. I got the crazy moves. They was really looking at, one of them broke down who his idol was, which was Punisher, you know, the guy with the guns. And he was telling them, what did he tell them? He said, man, skip all them other X-Men, man. Punisher is the real deal. He blowing them away, blind. They started looking at it because they identified with that dude. You know, I thought that was awesome.
Sometimes we ask them, who do you identify with? Which character is your guy? And that was interesting in Boys in the Hood, because some people's favorite person was, well, there were 3 people that they could have identified. One is, I can't remember his character's name, it's Cuba Gooding.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. Trey, thank you.
Okay, yeah,
and
Kiki,
then,
get him, Kiki.
the brother that gets killed,
Ricky.
Ricky. And then you've seen this a few times.
Yeah, Ice Cube, my Doughboy.
And Doughboy.
Yeah.
So there were 3 different people, and there were people for each one.
Okay.
And so then we just started talking as if we were that character, you know, why that character was the best.
Right.
Ah, okay. So they got in.
Mine was Doughboy.
You like Doughboy?
Yeah, and then several people said, who? What? You?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bad boy in.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Barbara.
Yeah.
Barbara, why you like Doughboy? I can identify with Doughboy. I like Doughboy too.
Well, he's protective.
Yeah, he was.
He's always protective. He's trying his best to protect people.
Right.
And he's not very successful because of his environment, which he, in the end, he says, what can you do?
Yes.
He talks in that great scene at the end when he's on the the front porch, and he's talking about how the TV is talking about all this violence on the other side of the world. It's Vietnam, and nobody knows. In South Central LA, same thing.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about us. Nobody cares.
Yep.
Wow.
It's a great ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was powerful. That was a powerful movie, man.
Wow.
And then it tells you on the screen that 2 weeks later he's dead.
Yeah.
You figure he's gonna be revenge killed.
Yeah. We seen a lot of Doughboys. I identified. What's his buddy that was in the wheelchair?
Little Chris.
Yeah, Little Chris.
Yeah.
Little Chris on the porch.
I identify with Chris, man.
Yeah, and Doughboy's looking after Chris.
Yeah, he was.
All the time.
Yeah. Chris, get in the car. Get out the car, Chris. Even when they was over there at the party, he told Chris, he told me, get in the car, get out the car.
They said, man, real quick, get Chris on the porch to eat food riding around the block.
Yeah, get Chris off the porch.
When they were on the porch.
Yeah.
Sorry, but someone said gives Kiki something to do.
Oh, man.
From on the news feed. Mr. Robert Ward said give Kiki something to do.
Ah, Rob Ward.
What up?
Yes. What's
We gotta
going
get
on,
Kiki
Rob?
You can't hear me talking?
No. You been the whole time.
Yeah, Kiki.
Nah,
Whatever,
watching
Kiki.
game.
Yeah, right, Kiki. No.
I've been keeping the topics going. What you talking about?
No.
Rewind the tape.
No.
Yeah.
We ain't rewinding nothing.
Exactly, because you's a hater.
Whatever, Kiki.
Man. Well, Barbara, but I gotta thank you for a lot of this, man. You brought in.
You brought in
a lot,
nice
man.
The
response.
court watch information was needed and very much needed. It kind of makes me mad that, I don't have time, or I would do it, and I would want to sit, and
you
watch
would
some
do it.
stuff,
You would
but
do
I
it.
don't have the
I
time,
ain't gonna lie, I ain't
and
going to the courtroom.
and that's the thing, right?
Yeah,
Even
there's
though-
that.
Even though you've been out of the radar, you get what I'm saying? Like you probably haven't been encountering any police at all for so many years, but you won't go back in there. You're on the other side this time, and a lot of people feel the same way. Well, I don't need to go back in there. I know I want to go back in there. I was in front of a judge too. A lot of
Okay.
people don't know that,
Right.
but
you was
I
a bad
was
girl,
too.
right?
No, we ain't gotta
You
say
was a
all of
thug.
that.
You
I
was a
was
girl thug.
misguided.
You was a
I
misguided thug.
made the wrong
You got
choice.
skin in
I
this
made a
big old
bad
purse?
choice.
Oh,
Oh, so anyway, stick to it. So the court watch, I would really like to do that, but like you were saying, a lot of people don't have the time, and most of the minority groups, they are at work, and they have to go to work. It's
Yeah.
not like they have a career,
Right.
They have to go to work. So we don't have a majority of the room to even, keep going back to the trial over and over and over again, and we'll finally stop going, like I ain't going to this time, and that one particular time could be really life-changing.
But just like the guy,
You
like
know?
she was saying, like with the guy, and they said they couldn't find the prints. He wasn't there, but court watch was there.
Yeah.
So it filled in that gap. And like you said, you got to be consistent with it, right,
Yeah.
Barbara? Yeah. Okay.
Well, there is a grapevine alive and well in this town. I love this grapevine. And so I get calls, at least once a year I get a call from somebody I've never heard of. And they've heard of me and they got my phone number. It's all right to call my phone. I'm not going to publish it. But if you get it from somebody, feel free to call.
Okay.
And so I'll get a call from somebody and she's a grandma. I got a lot of grandmas.
Okay.
And they're really looking out for their
Mhm.
grandsons. And they want to know, what I love most is when I get that call before they have picked a lawyer.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
I have a lot of opinions I cannot say on the air.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I can help you get a lawyer.
Call Barbara
Right,
before you get the lawyer, man.
Barbara like y'all lawyers out there.
Well, she know which
She
lawyer.
knows something we don't know.
Yeah.
She know y'all crooked. All
She know
lawyers are
which
crooked.
lawyer. She know which lawyer to get. That's what she know.
But
Yeah,
it's good to get court watch going for people who can't go to court but have a loved one. And in fact, we've done that for Annette Taylor, who has a good job and can't go to court.
Yes.
But
Yes.
she had us go for her son.
Okay.
You know? And then I would call her or email her the same day I went and tell her what happened.
So, okay, when you come there to the courtroom, you say, I'm here for court watch?
No, you don't say anything. You just walk in. You are entitled, if it's not a juvenile case, juvenile cases are closed to the public. We can't go.
Okay.
Y'all can't go to federal. Y'all don't go to federal courthouse.
Federal courthouse, we have.
Yeah.
We've sat through 2 trials there. Horrible experience. They last longer. They go on for like over a week. And the outcome is already established.
Yeah.
You know, the
outcomes-
defense never wins.
What? Oh,
Never wins. Like 99% of the time, the state wins
Yeah.
federal cases. So
man.
that's no fun. But we have done that, and it's been interesting to see the difference between federal court and state court. But anyway.
Man, that's sad, man. I know
It
now,
is.
boy, you
It's
get a
shocking.
federal case.
Shocking to me.
You might as well wrap it up, man.
Because you want to tell you why?
Mm.
Because they get these farmers
Mm-hmm.
from the rural areas, like from Muhammad and places like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know, only see what they see on the news. So in their eyes, if you got arrested by the government, you must be a really bad person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I got locked up with one of them guys before.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing my federal case. And he sold anhydrous to a guy to make that meth. He sold a guy a whole bunch of anhydrous. And they charged him for much anhydrous you can make with that. I mean, much meth you make with anhydrous. They charged him. He had a farm out there in down there by Carbondale, by what's it called?
Southern Illinois.
So that down there by Southern Illinois. And he had a farm down there. So he's like, man, I ain't know the government was like that. He kept saying, I ain't know I thought you guys got what y'all got coming. He was all day telling us that. I said, yeah, now you one of us guys now. I tell him every day. He's like, man, this just ain't fair, man. I didn't make no meth. They charged me with meth. I said, nah. I said, you know he gonna make some meth? Yeah, but it don't matter. He just couldn't bought. I said, now you on the other side now. But them people they get to come be on the jury, you ain't got a chance in heck. You ain't got a chance.
Wow.
I know a couple of times I was, supposed to do jury duty. Never,
From federal
got
system?
picked. No.
Oh.
But never really got picked, to sit. So I don't know how that works either,
They never picked
So,
you?
no.
Maybe they knew about your bad girl past.
I don't know. Maybe they did.
No.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they did.
I think I went twice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I went twice. But never
You ever
got
sat on jury
picked.
for Barbara?
No, because I was called for jury duty,
Okay.
and I just sat there. I mean, I didn't even get to go into the courtroom.
Okay.
And when I walked in for that, the what do you call them? Correctional officers, the deputies. That's what you call them at the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go through the metal detector, and they, wand me down because I was. And the guy that was wanding me down, he said, "What are you here for today?" And I said, "I've got jury duty." And he said, "You think they're gonna let you on a jury? Ha!"
But look, a strange story. They let my mom on a jury, and she told them, I cannot pick her. My son is in prison. They still picked her for a jury.
She asked to be excused.
Yep.
And they made her. That's
I couldn't believe it.
impossible.
And well, I told her, I said, Mom, you must have. I told you you was in prison. I was on the phone. I was in the joint talking to her. She said, yeah. I said, Mom, that's impossible. I said the same thing you said.
I can't
In
believe
Kankakee
it.
County.
Now, I was in court one time when an African American woman said that. She said, I don't want to be on this. And it was the African American defendant. And of course, you're real excited to see another black person be on the jury. You want them on the jury. And she said, I just can't. This makes me too sad. I have people that I know that are in prison, and I just don't want to be here.
Wow.
And the judge let her go.
They ain't let my mama go.
Because if you just say, I'm not doing this, they won't.
I told her, I said, you supposed to tell you gonna find not guilty.
You.
Yeah.
Wow.
You say the right stuff.
I told her.
Now, what must have happened is that the judge argued her into it. Because they do try to talk you into it.
I think it was more to it too. Like I told her, I said you should have told her you were gonna find him not guilty no matter what. I said if you told them that,
then they'll let you go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, they can talk about no, I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'll leave that one alone. But go ahead. It was never mind. A Dave Chappelle skit, but go ahead.
R. Kelly skit.
Yeah. What have you saw? What have you saw? I'm talking about, nope, he's still not guilty.
Oh man.
Still not guilty.
Yeah, he's still not guilty. What if you had him on camera doing it? Nope, still not guilty. But as I'm about to say, I'll leave it alone. But we only got a couple of minutes left, man.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, I like the history. I like 3 R's. I like the court watch. I like everything you're doing. Anything you got in the future you want us to know about, or you got coming up, or what you want?
Yes, there is something. There is a meeting on May 6th, which is a Monday.
Okay.
And it's at the building right across from the Quaker meeting on Main Street. It's the police training place now.
Okay. Yeah.
It's on the south side of Main Street.
It's by the IDOC building too.
Bless you.
Not IDOC. IDO. It's
IDLES.
Something.
IDILES.
Highway something.
ILEAS. That's
Okay.
it.
Highway something.
I'm sorry to be so
I'm sorry. I'm
unspecific, but anyway, this meeting is to talk about reducing bail to nothing.
Oh yeah,
Right.
the bail fund, the bail fund group.
Yes.
And
Bail fund.
there's a commission appointed by the Illinois Supreme Court that is going around having hearings, and Carol Ammons, the representative from here, got them to come here.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's going to be a rally across the street at 10:30.
It sure is.
And then there's the meeting takes place at 11:30.
When is this?
May
May
6th, Monday. And it's going to be big. A lot of people are going to be there, and anybody can get their 2 minutes to make a little speech about things.
Okay.
I've been thinking about what I would say. I'm not sure I'm going to make a speech, but if I did, one of the things that nobody ever says and is always overlooked is that guys sit in jail for 6 months waiting for the results of their DNA to come back, because the state lab is always backed up because it's understaffed. Now, that could be fixed with a little more money and more staff at the state level, and that would reduce the time that people are in jail because they're sitting there just waiting for these results.
Yes.
It's a very practical little thing, but it applies to an awful lot of people.
Right.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So if we want to keep, and actually the numbers of people in jail have gone down already.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, they were up around 200, now they're just a little over 100.
Good. Good. Wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Well, and on that note,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, we pretty much out. Kiki, you got something you want to say last, man?
Positive thought.
Yeah, give them a positive
A
thought.
positive thought for the day. We always say that the youngsters don't listen to us, but it's the way you got to talk to these youngsters and carry your message to these youngsters, the younger generation, to get them to listen. If you go to somebody that's aggressive, they're gonna respond aggressive. If you go to somebody that's kindness or sincere, they probably give you the sincerest answer. So be kind and sincere when you're schooling or scolding someone for doing wrong, because you got to think about the one time you was that guy who was doing wrong too, and you don't want nobody talking to you crazy.
That's right.
Be peaceful, stay blessed, and stay out of trouble. Peace.
Thank
All right,
you.
That's good thing, man.
Thank you, Barbara.
Heather, you got something you want to
Thank
say before I close?
Nope.
Out? Okay.
Nope.
Thank you, Barbara. Man, hope Champaign-Urbana and anybody else out there enjoy your Resurrection Day, Easter Day. If you're going to, I don't know, if you're going to dye some eggs. We used to dye eggs, man, and be finding eggs the whole next week, man. I mean, there'd be so many eggs around the house. The whole house would smell like a sulfur, man. It just smelled like somebody just had, I don't know, but we used to, I'm telling you, man, when you look back as a kid, man, you miss them days, but it is what it is. I don't know, the kids still do that, or do they play
We get
video
your glasses
games?
from Heather.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Heather
Go
got
ahead.
some
Close
new
out.
You can have that comment.
Close out.
Hey, wait, I got a question. Anybody else, they still dress up for Easter and go out to the churches now?
Yes, they do.
You dressing
Close
up
out
tomorrow?
I'm not.
Hey,
Sorry, I can't be on. No.
Okay, y'all, we
Bye-bye.
out. We gone, y'all. That's it. We out.